This is for Year 12 Methods, comes out of Heffernan 2020 exam 2, question number 2. So an airline logo, and there's my airline logo, is based around this particular shape. The lower and upper boundaries of the shape are modelled by respectively. So the lower is modelled by L of x, and that's L of x. So that's the lower boundary, and U of x is the upper boundary. So just to confirm that, I've typed them on here, and they go from 0 to 4, so I might change my window from 0 to 4. And if I take this one, make sure that I'm in radians, and if I take this one and zoom auto. Okay, so that's what it's going to look like. And the red one, so this here is U. And this one down here is L of x. I wonder where that intersection point is. G-solve intersection at 2. And if I take one of these and I make x equal 2, it's root 3. Okay, so what's some of the questions they're asked? State the period of the function L. So L is my top one. The period will be 2 pi divided by pi on 3, which gives me 6. By the way, this is also going to have the same period, because it's also going to be 2 pi divided by pi on 3. State the coordinates of point P. I've already done that. So that's 2 and root 3. Both worth 1 mark, just looking for the answer. And transformation of the graph from L to U is given by this. L to U. So we're going from L to U. We're going from L to U. So L to U. There's no dilation away from the x-axis. There's no dilation away from the y-axis. I can see a translation by 2 units left, and I can see a translation up to root 3. So there's no dilation, no translation, so therefore that's 1, 0, 0, 1. A equals 1 and B equals 1, because there's no reflections, I can't see any negatives. Both of these are positive signs, and there's been no dilations. And my little blue card that tells me about transformations, matrices are on the left-hand side, and they are as I see it. So if you move to the left, C equals negative, how far do we say it was going? 2. And D is going up, so D equals 2 root 3. Okay, so show that the minimum distance occurs at minimum distance D. What is D? Is the distance between the upper and the lower boundaries. Well, D must equal the upper boundary, which is U of x minus L of x. And that's going to be a minimum. It's worth 2 marks. So I just can't say, oh, look at the graph. I can see they're touching at that point. So I'm going to do D dash, set it equal to 0, and see what answers I get. So I'm going to have, what is it? It's U, and U is which one? U is the one with the root 3. So it's this minus this. Execute, type answer, take the derivative of the answer, make it equal 0, and put in my restricted domain. Otherwise, with my sines and coses, I'll end up with 0, lots of answers, and I'll get constants. The only point, so it only happens when x is 2, when x equals 2, therefore minimum of 0 at x equals 2, which is at P. Find the maximum value of D. Okay, so if I could look at the graph of D, I could pick it up. No. Okay, so I take that answer and I graph it. And I look from only from 0 to 4. And I do analysis, G-solve, Fmax. My maximum occurs at 0 and also at 4. So find the maximum value of D and when it occurs. Well, it occurs at x equals 0 or 4. And the maximum will be, so if I take that expression and keyboard math3 given x equals 0, it's 3 root 3. Find the area of the logo in square centimetres. Well, U is always the top curve and L is always the bottom curve, and I'm going from 0 to 4. 2 marks, 1 mark for the area is the integral from 0 to 4 of U of x minus L of x dx. Take the answer, select it, integral from 0 to 4 to 4 dx. And that's going to be my answer, 8 root 3 minus 18 on pi. And lucky last question. Given that that goes to 1.5, okay, so edit clear all okay. 0 to 1.5. And I get that. So that is that area. And that's got to equal from M to 4 of the other curve with a K on top. We've got to find out that value of K. So I want that to be that's going to be that area. Can you see the symmetry that's happening here? So I think that if that's 1.5, then that's got to be 1.5, which makes that point there 2.5. So M is going to be 2.5. And what's the value of K? K is going to be the height that this ends at. So if I do analysis G-solve ycalc at x equals 4, 3.46, so that's going to be which is I'm going to do that calculation. X equals 4, 2 root 3. and 2 root 3 as a decimal is going to be 3.46. So I'll go back over here. That height there has to be at 2 root 3, which means k is 2 root 3, because this area will be the same as this area if those distances are the same, and that down there will be down at -1, because that will be